Welcome to episode 9 of the Sports Card Talk Show. I'm Kevin, this is Lauren.
Hey everybody, today we're doing our Mondays Mount Rushmore, and the team we're doing today is the Detroit Lions. Just off the top of my mind, I could just come up with a couple names, so we actually had to do quite a bit of research for this.
Yes, yeah.
And
I found that kind of fun actually. I don't follow a lot of other teams very closely, so it was interesting looking some team our names up.
yeah, it was. I was surprised that the Lions were actually really good at one point.
Yeah, in the 50s, I think.
Yeah.
Like 3 titles or something.
3 titles.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable defense, and yeah. So should we get into this, man?
Yeah, I think we got a few honorable mentions, and then we'll get into the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Cool. You want to start out?
First honorable mention is near and dear to me because it's the Vikings general manager's Rick Spielman's brother, Chris. I actually watched him growing up, so he was a guy that came to mind for me as being a great Lion because I watched him wreak havoc on the Vikings offense many times. He was 8 years with the Lions. He played 10 years. I believe he went to the Bills afterward.
I think so, yeah.
He was a 3-time All-Pro selection, 4-time Pro Bowler. He played in and started all 130 games for the Lions that he was there. So
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and Chris was definitely a guy that when we picked the Lions was on my mind, but he's making the list as an honorable mention.
Right. The next one that we have, and I'm probably gonna not do a very good job with his last name. Do you know how to pronounce it?
It's
Robert Porcher?
Forche.
Yeah,
that's
okay. Defensive end and defensive tackle. 13-year NFL career with the Lions, and he has the franchise record for career sacks with 95.5, which is next closest is 20 behind him, and that was Bubba Baker. So I thought that was pretty impressive.
I watched him his whole career, and he was just, I would say, steady for the team for 13 years. It's surprising that he played that long, but in a way it probably isn't because he was just always it seemed like he was on the Lions forever. So
Right. Another reason that I kind of brought him up for honorable mention is the Lions Annual Man of the Year award is named after him because of his contribution in the community. So I thought that was pretty exciting that that was named after him. Yeah, it must have been a big contributor to the community.
Yeah, and I have a couple Vikings that I like a lot for that reason.
Right.
Yeah, so that's always great when a player does a lot in the community.
Right. You want to go on with the next one?
This is another guy that I watched and kind of despised a little bit because Herman Moore was that one guy that would knock Chris Carter down a peg on the best receivers in the NFC. It was always Jerry Rice, and Chris Carter was always fighting with Herman Moore, and there's a couple other guys, but Herman Moore was one that was definitely one of the best receivers in the league for several years. Mm-hmm. He played 11 of his 12 seasons with the Lions. He was first team All-Pro 3 times, 3 straight seasons. And that's what I'm talking about because that meant Chris wasn't there.
Right.
He is a Pro Bowler 4 straight seasons. Biggest season for the Lions was 1995. He had a career high 123 receptions, which I believe broke Chris Carter's 122 reception record. He had 1,686 yards that season and touchdowns. His career high was 14. Is that all in the same season?
Yeah, that was his best year, 95.
Oh man, yeah. So he probably blew Jerry Rice away that year too. I'm not 100% positive, but I mean those are amazing numbers. I mean any receiver would like to have.
Right. So the last one I think on the honorable mentions is Lem Barney, a cornerback. He was a Hall of Fame inductee in 1992. All 11 years of the Lions. I kind of like that when they play the majority of their career or all of their career with one team. I kind of gravitate towards that. He was NFL Rookie of the Year and the league's interception leader in the 67 at the same time, same year as his rookie year, and 2-time first team All Pro and 7-time Pro Bowler. So yeah, he was a heck of a player.
He had 56 career interceptions.
Yeah.
Returned for over 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Yeah. And he recovered. Yeah.
17 fumbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lynn Barney's one of those guys like that you hear of in whenever they talk about great players in the past. Did not know he was a Lion though. So
right. And it's funny because all 11 years were with the Lions.
Yeah.
So yeah. Interesting. Should we jump into the Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. You want to start out with number 4?
Number 4 on the Mount Rushmore for us is Dick Night Train Lane. He was a cornerback for the Lions from 60 to 65. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1974. He and this is where I screwed up when we did the Vikings Mount Rushmore, because he had 14 interceptions in 1952, which was his rookie year. So I really botched that when I was talking about Paul Krause. 2-time single season leader in interceptions. So he led the league in interceptions twice. He was a 7-time Pro Bowler and 7-time first team All-Pro. So he must have done those.
right.
Both the same 7 years or whatever.
Yeah.
He is part of the NFL 75th anniversary all-time team. 1950s all-decade team. Pro Football Hall of Fame named him the best cornerback in the NFL's first 50 years.
Right.
Now, there's a funny story about him, too. I believe when he was a rookie, he was a receiver, and he wasn't going to make the team as a receiver, so they made him a cornerback. So, so that's pretty amazing, I think, as well.
Yeah. One thing that I had added, because I thought it was an interesting little thing, he was one of the hardest hitters in NFL history, and he actually had a tackling move named after him. It was the Night Train necktie.
Oh, wow. I bet you couldn't get away with that in today's NFL.
No, just by the name, I'm guessing that ain't flying in today's NFL.
No, that sounds like that's a wrestling move.
right. So we'll jump to number 3. When I was looking at some of these, and I know that you noticed it too, with some of the nicknames for some of them. And Bobby Lane is the Blonde Bomber. And he's number 3 on our list. He was the quarterback from 1950 to 58. He led the Lions to 2 NFL championships, and he was working on his third in 1957, but he broke his ankle like 3 games prior to that. And the backup QB led them to the 3rd title.
And we don't know the backup's name, do we?
It's like I had it in my mind, and I just cannot think of it for the life of me right now. It's like, I'm not going to guess. Tobin? It's like a Tobin or something.
Yeah,
like
that guy's not making the Detroit Lions Mount Rushmore, though, I'm guessing.
Yeah. And, he wasn't really known for his stats so much, but he was just a winner. That was the biggest thing that I took away from it. But it was kind of funny. The year after the last title, he got traded. The coach traded him to the Steelers. And he was not very happy about it, so he allegedly put a curse on the Lions. And he said the Lions win another championship for 50 years. And I think to this date, they've only won 1 playoff game. Let's not worry about a championship game. They've won 1 playoff game since then.
Yeah. So, those are the Lions I know.
Yeah. right. So, yeah, I guess if you're a hardcore Lions fan, you would know about the
Feel you guys.
Right.
Are we ready to go to number 2
number
guy on the
2,
list?
yeah.
Okay, now we're getting into some guys I actually really know.
Right.
But didn't have to do research to come up with this guy's name, Calvin Johnson. Everybody knows him as Megatron. He set the NFL record just, what was it, 2012?
Yeah.
With 1,964 yards. NFL receptions leader in 2012. NFL receiving touchdown leader in 2008. Two-time receiving yards leader, both in 2011 and 12. Six-time Pro Bowler, three-time first-team All-Pro, incredible size, speed. I mean, this guy, he was nicknamed Megatron. He was a freak. We've all seen him play.
Yeah.
At least
it was next to impossible to defend him.
Yeah.
Just throw it up to him.
Well, we just got done with our fantasy draft, and back in those days, Megatron was always the number one receiver coming off the board.
Yeah,
so,
totally. Speaking of the fantasy draft, I like your hat and shirt you're wearing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, had to throw that in there.
Yep. This was I've served two terms of punishment. This week I had to serve the punishment because I lost to you head to head in this league.
Yeah, and last week in the auction draft, I believe you were wearing it too because it was whoever finished best in the auction league.
Worst in the auction league.
Well, didn't have to wear it. I like to think on the winning end of it.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that was the worst season of fantasy football in my life.
Awesome.
In that league.
So I just can't imagine if they were able to surround him with better talent,
Right, I know.
I know. It was amazing.
He was pretty much their offense. If you could stop Megatron, it was hard for the Lions to win.
Yeah. Speaking of surrounding a player with better talent, that kind of leads us to number one.
Yeah, let's go to number one.
It's Barry Sanders. do we have to say anything
else?
No.
Barry Sanders, watching... I've watched Adrian Peterson for the last 10 years of my life. Just, and to me, Adrian Peterson is, a generational talent. He's one of the best running backs I've ever seen play the game. But I've said since the beginning that Barry Sanders is my Michael Jordan to running backs.
Right.
I never got to see Jim Brown play. But for me, Barry Sanders is the best running back I've ever seen play. Right. And definitely number one on our Mount Rushmore for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah. And we could go through the stats, but
I don't think there's any point.
No, it's Barry
Sanders. Barry Sanders had so many amazing 2-yard runs. The way he just he looked like a little water bug just dancing around. He'd pop into the pile on the offense in the scrum of the offense and defensive lines, and all of a sudden he'd come out and around and be running down the field. I feel like if he would have not retired for one, but also if he would have been blessed with the offensive line that Emmitt Smith had, God knows what this guy would have done. Just a great player.
Yeah. So just a little recap of the...
Yeah, let's do it.
Of the four, yeah. So number 4 came in at Dick Night Train Lane. Number 3 was Bobby the Blonde Bomber Lane. And then, of course, number 2, Calvin Megatron Johnson. And number 1, Barry Sanders. Enough said.
Yeah, but Barry Sanders doesn't need a nickname.
Right.
You say Barry and you know who you're talking about.
Right, yeah. If you're talking football, that's just automatic.
Yep.
So awesome, man. That was kind of fun to do. I felt like I learned a little bit, and that was kind of unexpected when we decided to do this. Because,
yeah, I know.
Like I said, my younger days were all basketball. So just, diving into it has been fun.
Yeah, when we picked the Lions, like we both, it was pretty easy coming up with those first two.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun going back into their history. I'm looking forward to doing the histories of a lot more teams.
Yeah. So I think we'll throw in a little mail time.
Yeah.
We'll just open the packages here and we'll pop them up. You think that'll work?
I think that'll work best.
All right, man.
Okay.
You got a couple next to us here, huh?
Yeah. I just stuck them in between us here.
Yeah.
Oh, you see that red sticker there? I'm just guessing if anybody buys stuff on eBay, they know that's a Probstein sticker. So.
Yes.
So let's see what we got from Probstein's. Probstein's likes to really tape up their packages.
Yeah.
Here.
So speaking of the draft, while Lauren's opened this, in an episode before, Lauren called for Dalvin Cook to be the leading rusher in the NFL. I believe we called it the Homer pick. And in that he said, I try not to pick Vikings players for my fantasy teams. And that kind of went off the rails this year. I don't know if it's because we've been talking about it so much, but yeah, that kind of just went off the rails this year.
Drinking the purple Kool-Aid hard this year, guys. I'm drinking the purple Kool-Aid hard.
Yeah.
This is a Chris Carter. He's actually a Spectra card, die cut.
Die cut, yeah, those are nice.
And I don't go after his Eagle cards too much, but I had to because this was a 1 out of 15.
Yes.
And I cannot, I'm thinking that says 2016, but we'll get a picture up. Get a picture up of that card there.
Dude, that's sweet with the green and stuff.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it is nice. It is a nice card.
Awesome, man. Yeah, we'll throw a picture up.
Do number 2 here.
So yeah, I think on the auction league, what you end up with 3 Vikings?
Auction league 3 Vikings and this and the snake draft auction. Oh no, I ended up with 3 again.
Oh, who was the third one?
You know I picked the Viking defense, don't you?
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, I jumped on the Viking defense.
You're either gonna have really good Sundays or
yeah. Yeah, I'm banking on the Vikings this year. Let's hope they don't let me down.
Right.
Oh, sweet. Future Hall of Famer. Danielle Hunter. It looks like I got a couple of cards in this deal here, so. Oh, and then a couple. Oh, looks like I actually think that I actually thought about this, snapping a picture of this box of top loaders that I have that are just wrecked because of stupid tape.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, this package I got
Painter's tape, people. Painter's tape.
I got Danielle Hunter. That's
rookie.
a Panini Royal Rookie Auto,
Nice.
red, and I think that's out of 99.
Yep.
And then I've got a Kendrick's Topps Valor Courage here, which is 38 out of 50.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
And then this one is, I bought all 3 of these from the same seller. Eric Kendrick's the Silver Prism Parallel.
Oh, okay.
And this one is numbered 1 out of 300. So another eBay 101 there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have gone for. I don't know if I had a 50 out of Kendrick's out of the Topps Valor there. Mm-hmm. So that's why I picked that one up, and I had to get the 1 out of 300. And then Danielle Hunter, I just have to buy his cards. So
Right.
Package number 3 here. Okay, I got an AP all day. This is a really cool card. I don't know if I've got one of these, but I got this one I just couldn't pass up the price on this one. Don't even really know what it is. It's a top something, but it's got a really cool like medallion in it.
Oh yeah.
Nice heavy card. Just cool card.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know. That card's probably not worth much because I got it for hardly anything. But
Right.
But collect what you like.
Yeah.
You know? So that's
absolutely.
Yeah. And it's got the Viking head on it, so it's just super cool card.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Oh, nice. What I like about this package is that I can see that the cards are done up with painter's tape.
Oh, there you go.
I've got a Mackenzie Alexander. This is 2000, I believe 16 is his, 2016 Contenders rookie auto.
Oh, yeah.
And a Trey Waynes 2015 Contenders rookie auto, and this one's numbered out of 99. It's 66 out of 99, which I like to call the Yin Yang 101.
Oh, man. We just got a reference back to the "you're an idiot if you call it an eBay 101" just because.
What am I if I call it a Yin Yang 101?
I'm sure you'll get I'm sure people have something for it.
Okay.
So this is the last one for this episode,
Yep.
huh?
Yeah. Okay. This one, just a plain old. Speaking of the Lions, that's pretty cool.
Oh, funny. How did that?
I got a Amir Abdullah, and this is just a purple refractor. Purple refractor parallel of the Prism rookie card.
Sure.
And Amir's on the Vikings
Yeah.
for now. Whether or not he's going to be by the end of training camp or not is to be determined. But
exactly.
I picked that card up for like $1, so free shipping. It was one of the. I'm actually surprised it came in a bubble envelope because it was
free shipping.
Free shipping. So that usually entails a plain white envelope.
Right. Well, man, that was a lot of fun to go through the Mount Rushmore and your mail time.
Yeah.
I think next week we'll be tackling some big teams.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Vikings, Lions, and leading into NFL kickoff next.
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah, that'll be next week.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah. So next month. Well,
you
Monday
it's starting to feel like football season. I remember whenever I ran down my back steps to jump in the van to get over here this morning for the draft. A little breeze came through and some leaves started falling off the trees, and I'm like going, oh man.
Oh, yep.
There's this part that's going, oh man, winter's coming, and there's this other part that goes, football's coming. So it's bittersweet.
For sure. Well, I think that'll do it for this episode. We'll catch everybody next time. Anything else you got?
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks, man.